Hello guys, this is Sandra here. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. It's lovely to have you here and I hope you're gonna enjoy your time. So in today's video I'm gonna create 3 different looks with my Nikkie Tutorial and Beauty Bay eyeshadow palette. I already created a look with this, which is my first impressions, which I can link in the cards for you so you can check that out. With that, I officially play with every single color in this palette, apart from Underground, which is this cool tone brown. If you want to look with that, I can do that as well, but I think for now we're gonna jump into the video because, you know, it's 3 different looks, so it's a bit more on the longer side. So if you want, grab a snack or a nice hot drink, and we're just gonna get going. Alright, so for the first look we are starting off with a primed eye, and I use this time my Urban Decay primer potion in the shade Sin, which is just has a little bit of a shine to it. It's more like a champagne color. Then we're gonna grab my MAC 217 and we're gonna dip in the shade Mila, which is this nice light brown transition shade. And I'm gonna just start blending it lightly in my crease and outer corner. Again, this is a more rounded shape than usual, and I'm not gonna need a lot of it to start with anyway. We can always build up more later on as we go. Now this started out as a really easy shadow where I thought I might only use like 2 shades, but then well, the makeup lover in me took over and I started playing, so there. I'm gonna stop it there for now. So as you can see, it's just a really light layer of brown eyeshadow. Next, I'm grabbing a small domed brush. This is just a random one from like an Amazon set. I'm gonna go in the green shade You, this one, because the shade that we're gonna use on the lid, Mr. Tutorial, has some green to it as well, so I wanted to add the shade in, and I thought, you know what, this could add a bit more dimension to the look. So I'm gonna just pop it right in the crease, right in there, and a little bit on the outer corner, just a bit more inwards than I did with the brown. And then go back with my MAC 217 and blend, blend, blend. And you can see it gives the look this nice camo kind of look. I might go back in with the tiniest bit of Mila though. Add a little bit more. Next, I grabbed my Jessup MUL13 brush and dipped it in the shade 5am, which is the deeper brown in the palette. And I just applied it right on the outer corner, again just to give a bit of depth to the look there. And then went back to the MAC brush and blend, blend, blend it. And then I'm gonna go back in a little bit with the green because I feel like after all the brownie shades we lost it a little bit. So I'm gonna apply a little bit more and then just go back in with the brush and blend it. And I know at the moment it almost looks a bit murky, even though it's more camo in real life. I know it might look a bit murky, but once we apply the shimmer shade it's gonna be all good, which is coming now. So I'm gonna use my middle finger and dip it in the shade Mr. Tutorials, which is this beautiful browny, goldy, greeny duochrome color. And oh my god, it's gorgeous. I love it. I'm gonna apply it with the finger. I'm applying it all over the lid apart from the inner corner. And then once it's on my lid, I'm going back with my MAC brush. If I can find where I put it, it's not in my hand. Okay, I'm gonna blend it again. If you want to, you can go back. I like to go back around my lash line because for some reason shadows never stick the same way there. I'm not sure why. And then I'm gonna take a small flat brush. This is just a random one. It's so old, it has no writing on it. And I'm gonna dip it in the shade All In, which is a really similar, that one, really similar shade. It has a green tone to it, but it's a lot lighter. So I load up my brush, and this one seems to work fine with the brush, at least in the inner corner. So I'm gonna apply it there. Ooh, gorgeous. And this is the only shade that had a little bit of a fallout for me on my other eye. All the other ones seem to be fine. For my brow bone, I'm gonna use my Sigma E47 brush, and I'm gonna dip it in the shade Ivy and Basic Trut. So this icy white and that beige skin color, because I just wanted to give it a tiny bit of something, but I don't want to overload that area because my whole eyelid is so nice and shiny already. So there's no need for that really. It just gives it a little bit of a glow, but not too much. Then I'm gonna use my Bobbi Brown ink liner. This is in the shade Dark Chocolate Ink. And I'm gonna use a little Milani brush that came with the Milani liner back in the day to do a little bit of wing to start with. Then I'm gonna take my Jessup MUL18 brush and dip it back in 5 AM, which is the dark brown, and just smoke the liner out a little bit. It dries really quickly, but it helps a little bit. There we go. So I'm gonna just create my face makeup and then we will finish off the lower lash line. Alright, we're back and most of my complexion is obviously done. So what we're gonna do now is the lower lash line. So first I went in with an eyeliner and I used the Kiko Milano Intense Color Long Lasting Eyeliner in the shade 11. Now I thought it's a green. Upon applying it, it's a bit more bluey, tealy kind of color, but once you blend in the eyeshadows and stuff, it just all goes nicely together. So you know, it's fine. I didn't notice how much blue there is in there until I applied a green eyeshadow next to it. But we're gonna power on and I'm promising you, like on that eye, it's gonna work out. So I'm gonna apply that first. These are so nice and creamy, so nice. So then I'm gonna grab the Jessup 18 brush and we're gonna go back in the green shade called You. And I'm gonna blend it on my lower lash line. And I'm telling you, the magnifying mirror, oh my god, in there is great. It works so well. Makes my life so much easier. Never knew I need a magnifying mirror to do my makeup, but now that I have it in my hands, I'm loving it. Then I go back in with my MAC 217 and just blend. I just prefer a bigger brush to blend it really. And then I dip my Zoeva 240 in the shade 5 AM and just build it out on the outer corner of the lower lash line. And again, with the mixture of the brown and the green, it's just going to give that nice camo kind of effect. And I'm loving how grungy this eye is. I don't know. I like it a lot. Can I say that about my own makeup? I guess I can. Who's gonna toot my own horn if not me, right? No? I don't know. But there we go. Then you can apply a coat of mascara and poof, it's done. This is look number 1 complete and I feel like it gives me such grungy vibes, especially with lipstick. It's the lipstick and the lip liner for Urban Decay 1993. I feel like it works so great together, the two. Unlike my hair, that does not work great together with me for some reason today. But anyway, we're gonna now jump onto look number 2. Okay, so for our second look, we're gonna do something with the blue shades because quite a few of you mentioned that you want to see the blues and the greens and I used greens in my first look, so we're moving on to something a bit more blue. And I already primed my eyes with the NYX HD Primer Eyeshadow Base, I think it's just called. And we're gonna go in first with the shade Amsterdam, and I used the Zoeva 240 Luxe Petite brush because this helps me mapping out where I want that blue shade to go. And I'm just trying to experiment a bit more with shapes and colors lately, so that's what you see. And I know it looks a bit crazy at the moment, but I think once I have the rest of my makeup on, it will look better. So let's try to match up the other eye. Now I have to say, this shade was a bit more difficult to build up and blend than some of the other shades in the palette, but something fell and I don't know what it was. But anyway, that's okay. It still builds up at the end, as you can see. It just, I felt like this is a bit harder to do. Then I took my Morphe M506 brush and I dipped it in the shade Plot Twist, which is this lovely pastel blue. And I think Nikki said it there because it should help blending the blue, but I have to say I had a bit of a hard time with it, so you will see that later on I switched for another brush as well, but I just want to follow the exact same steps so we have an outcome that at least is vaguely similar on my eyes and, you know, not a completely different thing. And I didn't mind like going over the actual line as well, and you will see that it will take away a little bit of the intensity of the shadows, but that's okay. So then what I did after that, I went in with the Morphe B16 and dipped it in Plot Twist as well, and just blended it with that brush as well. I feel like it just makes it really muted. It doesn't blend a lot of it, a little bit. But it took me quite a while. And then I went back in with my previous pencil brush. Oh my god, I hope I'm keeping in frame. And built up the color again. And this took me quite a while, not gonna lie. For now, I'm gonna leave it at that, and then I used a lip brush actually, which is from Real Techniques, and I dipped it in the shade Nikkie Tutorials, which is this beautiful shimmery blue kind of color, and it works perfectly with a lip brush. Funny enough, this one doesn't need wetting really, but there's quite a bit of fallout. I find like I don't really have fallout with the matte shades, but I have quite a bit with the shimmers. But that's okay, this is why I do my eyes first. And I didn't cut my crease or anything, I have just enough precision with the shadows themselves for this look. And I built it up sort of like halfway on the lid. And originally I was thinking that I can fade it into the shade Ivy, which is this white color. But I didn't really like it, but I'm gonna still apply it first so we can just get the same effect. But again, I took it on a flat synthetic brush. This one is the Jessup 15. This shade doesn't work that well on a non-wet brush, but we're gonna go with that for now. You can go back in with more tutorials if you feel like me that it needs a bit more building up in certain areas. Sometimes as you turn your head in different lights you see different gaps. And then I went back with Plot Twist, the pastel blue and the Morphe brush, just to try to blend them together. And I thought that I can just fade it out like this, but I did not really like where I ended up. Hold on, let me close the window because it's getting a bit noisy. There we go. So I did not really like it this way. I wanted a faint kind of color there, and as you can see I decided to go with Vla, which is this lighter pink, so that sort of ruins the ocean vibes, I guess. I'm sorry, but I just wanted a bit of color, so I'm still using the same Morphe brush, and I just pack it on top of the white and I can use the same brush, since it's a blending brush, to blend the two together. Oh, and I clearly packed a lot on my brush because now I have a bit of a yellow fallout there. But to be fair, I had a lot on there, and this is not a packing brush, so. Now I can even use a bit of Mama Tutorials and the same brush, even though it's not going to pick up a lot. And just try to blend it where the two shadows meet. Then I took an itty bitty liner brush, and this one isn't like half broken and from a random Amazon set, but it was a perfect size, and I dipped it back into Amsterdam and went back in there and just give a bit more dimension to the line right at the base of it. And I can see that my eye is not the same shape and it's driving me nuts. Now I'm gonna go and clean up and complete my complexion, and then we will move on to the lower lash line. Alright, I'm back. So first things first, I used a highlighter that I use on my cheeks, which is the Beauty Bay highlighter that I reviewed in my first impressions as well with the palette. So I took this and a small brush, and I can never find the brush I need. So I used the Sigma E47. And then I just used this on my brow bone just to bring back a little bit of highlight. And then after that, I was not too sure what I want to do, but I decided to use the same shade Amsterdam and the same Zoeva 240 brush and just sort of create this really washed and blurred out liner that sort of goes in the same direction as the line on top, if you can sort of see, and I feel like it gives such a nice little extra to the look. And I was not too sure what to do with my lower lash line. I didn't really want anything too much because my top lash line is already quite, you know, going strong. So what I did, I used the Berriem High Vis eyeliner in the shade Caution, which is just this really fun bright blue. And then I took the Morphe B16 and the shade Plot Twist, which is the pastel blue, and just blended it out on the lower lash line. Like so. So you can see it's not too much. And as a finishing touch, on the lower lash line I used my Kiko Smart Color Mascara, and this is the shade 02. So it's just this fun blue that corresponds really well with everything blue on my eyes. And then on top I just used a regular black mascara, and that is the finished look. So let me just put this on and then I can show you what it looks like. Ta-da! That's the finished look. I don't know about you, but quite like it, even though it's not fully symmetrical. I'm still enjoying it. I just really like playing around with my eyeshadow lately and trying different shapes and seeing what I can create. I feel like it's quite fun. I feel like it has like a little Cleopatra vibe to it. Is it just me? Alright guys, here we go with look number 3. So for this look I primed with my MAC paint pot in the shade Perky, which is just this really nice light peachy color, and it's already on my eyelid. So as a next step, I'm gonna take my e.l.f. eye crease brush and dip it in the shade Redemption, which is this a nice bright orange, and I went through a few stages with this look, so you know, I did not really know what I want to do, but I think I got there. So with this, I applied it in my outer corner, and it's a really nice bright orange. And then I also applied it in the inner corner, and I'm gonna bring it up fairly high. You will see that this look goes all the way up to the brow bone. And just pack it on. Then I took my Blanco Cosmetics E42 brush and dipped it in the shade of Blah, which is this a nice pale yellow. And I thought this will be the perfect shade to blend out the orange. which it is, to be fair. It works really, really well for that. I just bring it all across as well, right under my brow. My brows really need a trim. And for now we're just leaving it at that. We're gonna come back to it later on anyway, and I'm gonna take my ring finger and dip it in the shade Pride, which is this purpley pinky shade. And basically I just wanted to make sure that I use every single shade in this palette when I'm showing you these looks. So there's only one shade which I haven't, but that's okay. Every other shade I showed you a look with. And I just apply it in the middle of the eyelid, and it was a lot more pinky than I thought. So originally this is the whole look I wanted, and I realized that it's not gonna work, so that's when the rest of the look came from and the changes kicked in. So first I took a small flat brush and dipped it in the shade Zomer, which is this matte peachy kind of color, and I used that to blend Pride into the orange shade Redemption. And I also took my Blanco's Cosmetics brush without any additional product, just to give a bit of a blend around. Then I took my Morphe M506 brush and dipped it in Mikai, which is this super, super pigmented red. So if you're following along, be careful because it is really pigmented. And I basically added that shade to the outer corner of my look. Sort of like that. And then I went back in the brush we used in the beginning, the e.l.f. crease brush, and dipped it in the orange shade of Redemption again, and used that to blend the edges of the red to start with. And then I took the Blanco's Cosmetics brush with a little bit more of Vla, which is the pastel yellow, and just blended it. And then also I went in with a bit more Redemption and applied a bit more in the inner corner. And a bit more Pride, just to sort of blend. Then I went back with this small flat brush and dipped it in the shade Zomer. And again, just blended between the shimmer and the red. And then I also went in with Pride with the same brush to see if I can blend it a bit more. So it just whatever picks up on the brush, really doesn't have to be a lot. Then I took another tiny, more fillet brush and dipped it in the shade Ivy, which is this more icy white there. And just apply some in the inner corner. I didn't want full like color payoff from this, and this is why it's okay to use it with a brush. If you want more color from it, then wet your brush or use your finger. For what I wanted, which is just a lighter layer of shimmer over the orange, this was perfect. And then I took a flat angled liner brush, this one is from Essence, and dipped it in the shade Slasher, which is this beautiful matte purpley maroon kind of color. And I sort of started like 1/3 in, so I didn't bring the liner all the way in the eye. And I just start sort of there and build up a little flick like you can see on that eye. And I'm gonna just take this little brush that I had the red on to bring it a bit more out so it matches the other eye. Like so. Now I'm gonna clean up the fallout and the shape on the outside, so it's like that side because I cleaned everything under the line of the liner. So I'm gonna do the same on this side. I'm gonna add my complexion and then we can move on to the lower lash line. Alright, we're back, and as you can see, one eye is done. So now we're gonna move on to this side and I can show you what I did. So first I took my beloved Zoeva 240 pencil brush and dipped it in the shade Slasher. And basically just blended it all under my eye. And then once I got to the other corner, I joined it to my liner there. Then I took my e.l.f. crease brush and dipped it in the shade Redemption, which again was the orange shade, and blended this shade out. And I'm bringing it down quite far, which is okay. I'm gonna go back with my pencil brush and a bit more Slasher because I feel like that shade is a bit more, well, it's a bit stronger on the other side. And then I also went back in with the liner brush, just so I can make sure that that outer corner is nice and one continuous line. Yep, that works. Then I applied the Barium High Vis eyeliner in the shade False Alarm, so it just is quite bright reddy orange, which I thought will go well with the rest of the look. And these are so super creamy. Then I just apply a lashing of mascara and then this look is done as well. So this is it, guys. This is the finished look. Let me know what you think and please let me know which look is your favorite. Look number 1, 2 or 3. I would love to know. I'm not sure I can choose. I like all of them, but they're all quite different from each other. But for now I'm gonna go. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to my channel. It would mean so much to me. I post videos 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And then I have the occasional Saturday videos as well, like this one that you're watching currently. If you, by some reason, recreate any of these looks, please let me know. I would love to know that. And you can always tag me on Instagram, which is Szannyside. It's the same handle as my YouTube. I mean, will anyone recreate these? I don't know, but if you do, please, I would love to know. It would be so cool. But for now, I think I'm gonna go because this is already pretty sure a long video. So I'm gonna go now. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.